Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here with another Cherry on Top monthly YouTube hop where you can leave comments along each of our videos down below in the description in order to be entered into winning a $25 gift certificate for the Cherry on Top shop. So I am using the Spooky Things collection by Simple Stories. This is a newer one in the Cherry on Top shop, and I have grabbed it with all the Halloween goodness here to scrapbook some of our trick-or-treat memories when we went to a trunk or treat event that our school puts on. And I have this Spooky Things collection here, and I'm also pairing this up with a sketch for day 1 of 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. You can see the sketch here that I'm using in the bottom right. It's by Sarah Christensen, starting us off with day 1 of 30 days of sketches, which is a Facebook group. And I think it's about every 3 months, there's a 30 days of sketches series, and this one's for the month of October. So I'm following the sketch pretty loosely today. I decided to use still a grid design, but I wanted to use these tags that are from the 6x8 mini paper pad in this collection. And I'm just using those as my grid design and layering my photos and a whole bunch of embellishments on here. And I'm also going to do a stamped title versus an actual title with letters or chipboards or ephemera. So that's something a little bit different that I'm doing today. I'm going to incorporate some splatters in here. I'm going to rough up some edges. This is about where I was trying to figure out where I wanted my title to go. And I thought centering it would be a little too centered for me. I usually staggered everything and I just kind of make everything all wonky usually. It's not my particular style to do everything so straight, and the sketch design is pretty straight, but of course I have to make it my own somehow. So I took a sheet of white cardstock here and I cut it down to 11.5 by 11.5 inches. And then I severely roughed up the edges using my edge distresser, and then I'm using another piece of white to back my photos with here. I took all my photos, they were colored photos, but I actually cut down the saturation on them a lot. They're not fully 100% black and white. They do have a little tiny bit of color, but I took most of the color out using the saturation feature in my editing tools because I just really wanted all the colors in this collection to shine and my photos to just be black and white. I love to do black and white photos whenever I have a lot of color in my layouts. That's just one of my favorite things to do, and it really makes those colors pop, and it also pops your photos too, even though they're black and white. I decided to put this on a border. That's why I cut it down to 11.5 inches and roughed up the edges, and then I cut the middle out of that background paper so I can save the middle and use that big piece for something else. I have one fly in here that keeps flying around. It's almost October. Well, it is October at this point. It's October 1st at this point. Why do I have a fly in my house? But he just will not leave me alone, so he keeps kind of flying around my desk. I absolutely love these new Echo Park stamps. These are some cute little alphabet stamps that have little spider webs in them. They are perfect for all of your Halloween memories or just anything spooky or buggy even. Like if your kids like to go out and play with bugs and things like that, you could use it to document those memories. I plan on using this stamp set for my memory planner as well when I'm scrapbooking October memories, and I just love this stamp set. They stamp really nice, but I was kicking around using them with Distress Oxides. I wanted them to be a little bit crisper, and Distress Oxides and inks are not meant to have a crisp stamp. So just so you know, they are meant to be distressed, but that's not really what I was going for here. I wanted a little bit clearer stamp. So I did break out my stamps from the stamp market. So of course those aren't available in the Cherry shop. I'm so sorry. If you want to grab these distress inks and oxides that I'm using today, those certainly are in the Cherry shop and you can grab those. But I'm just kind of mixing up my colors and matching these colors to my layout colors and the colors in the collection. So I just chose some purple, blue, green, and some black and orange, just different colors. And then I stamped them kind of all wonky just to go with the feel of my layout. Nothing is straight on here. I did line it up so I knew what was straight, and I kind of kept the sweet a little bit straighter, but then I wanted the treats to just kind of be fun and all over the place. So I did kind of scatter those letters splatters a little bit. And then I've added some splatters in some black Heidi Swap Color Shine, which I actually just noticed is back in stock in the cherry shop. And it has been a long time since I have seen this in stock. So if you love this black Color Shine as much as I do, make sure that you snag a couple of those from the Cherry on Top shop. I will link them down below in the description for you, as well as everything else that I'm using in this video today. I have these puffy stickers here. I'm going to scatter a few of these around on my layout, and then I've got a whole bunch of ephemera from this collection as well. And I've pulled out some Flair from Scrappin Happy Studio too. Of course, I always have to use Flair on my layout, so I've grabbed some of those in hopes to use a few of those, but I ended up only using one on this layout in the end. I did use my Photo Play border dies on this, just the one scallop border, because I wanted to add a couple little scalloped edges to two of these photos. I'm going to do the bottom right one and the top left because I like to have a little bit of balance in my layouts. I know that I stagger and do things kind of wonky and distressed, but I still like to have a good visual triangle and have balance to my layout. So that usually means I'm adding embellishments and things to diagonal corners or top and bottom or side to side, things like that, to just balance out the layout. I have my tags here. My goal here is to grab some of the embroidery floss or twine that you see there at the top right of my desk above my little ghost tray, to use and thread that through all of my tags on this layout. And I'm just working in some embellishments around all of these tags. I think that's what took me the longest in this, was to embellish, and I have really had to tell myself to stop because I just had so much fun adding all of the little cute bits and pieces, like this little spider. I did end up popping up my spider with a 3D foam square, and then I'm gonna draw a line down to it. I love this little cute haunted house. I just thought it was a perfect fit for that photo up there. These little florals. I need a whole pack of these flowers because I absolutely love them. And I love these cute little bats, of course. I'm going to pop one or two of those up as well. I'm distressing all of my tags kind of as I go and punching the holes in them. And I'm just using my fingernails for that. You can use an edge distresser, your fingernails, or the back of your scissors even if you don't have fingernails or an edge distresser. That works as well too. I've got my spider here. I just drew a little line. Kind of reminds me of Charlotte's Web. If anybody has kids and has watched Charlotte's Web as much as we have, there's a line in that movie about a springy pig, because the pig is asking Charlotte, the spider, about what's a spring pig. And they say something about being a springy pig, and and that little line that I drew on my spider is wiggly, and it just reminds me of the springy pig line from Charlotte's Web. I have some 3D foam tape here. I'm just going to use that to pop up all of my photos to kind of create a little feature on all of these tags, get them popped up for some dimension, and then I'm popping up some of my embellishments, not all. I'm leaving some of them flat on the page with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and then just adding some little word phrases here and there to finish embellishing my photos and these little tags. And yeah, so mainly from here on out, I'm just mainly embellishing and just adding different things and popping up those photos. I've got my alphas. The splatters are pretty dry at this point, so I'm still kind of careful with it just so I don't smudge or smear them. Usually I like to do splatters at the end, but since I was kind of layering all of my tags and photos and things, I decided to just do my splatters before I added embellishments. So just make sure that you're careful not to touch your splatters because they will smear a little bit if you touch them and they're not completely dry. So I'm just going to keep working on this and adding the rest of my embellishments. Make sure you hop along the list, the hop list down below in my description to everyone on the design team that's playing along with this today. They all have videos for us today. I know there's some really nice creations. The hop theme this month is sweet treats, so that's why I went with this layout and these photos because we were trick-or-treating, so they got lots of sweet treats. But make sure you hop along that list of creators in my description and leave comments along the way for each of us, and then you'll be entered into winning that $25 gift card for a Cherry on Top shop. So I am just going to continue embellishing this and pop some music in here. I will swing back in here at the end of this video and show you the finished layout. So here is the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today, and I hope I've inspired you to create something and grab all these gorgeous products from the Cherry on Top shop, which I will link below in the description for you, as well as the hop list for all the creators playing along. So you can hop along and leave comments in order to be entered into winning that $25 gift card. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.